All right, let's get started. I know it's almost 3 o'clock. You saw me talking to people. Hello, Elena. Talking to myself, doing my testing, trying to see what was going to work, what was not going to work, but it's good. Oh, you can't hear me. That's okay. There is a pause. Let me know if you can hear me now. Let's see. Now it's perfect. Yay! So, Elena, will you be joining me tonight? Will you be joining me tonight at 6? We're going to do a recording. Hopefully so. Yay, you can hear. Perfect. Ah, one of these days they're going to fix it so there's no delay and I can just talk to you and we'll go and it will be awesome. So, since it looks like it's just you and me right now, would you like, oh, so happy to join me, yay. Would you like to go over what you see on the screen or fill in the blanks, or would you like to do some math? You get a choice. You're the first one here. You get to decide what this is going to look like. Hey, John Craig, how are you? So you decide, Miss Elena, we can do a little bit of math. Well, we could start with a little math and see who else joins us, or we can go straight into our sentences. You know what? Let's just go straight into our sentences. That way I don't have to switch back and forth. So we are doing a fill in the blank. You all know what to do. Discount points. Elena, I'm going to have you teach discount points. See, I should have known you were going to say that. I should have known. We're going to start with the fill in the blanks. I'm going to make you a t-shirt that says math discount points once you pass the test. Ask me about discount points. All right, John Craig and Elena, let's go. Oh, you passed your national and state 3 weeks ago and you wanted to say thank you. Oh, thank you. And you have earned your song. Let me do it for you. It is
Good job, good job.
good job, good job. GOODJOB, good job, good job. Hey, love it. And oh, I see now. I see what happens. When I share a screen, the screen sharing pauses. So let's resume. Let's see, where are we here? Let's stop. And now let's share. And there we go. So what happens is when I change screens, it happens to not like that. I got to remember that. It does not like when I change screens. So that's okay. Yay. And I'm so proud of you. I didn't do your other song.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
Ah, love it. And congratulations, Mr. John Craig. I appreciate you. Oh, have a piece of chocolate for me. Have a piece of chocolate since I can't drink. But I am so proud of you and I'm so happy for you. And now we're going to get down to work. So, Elena, you said number 29. A blank title means the buyer has a future right to legal ownership after completing certain steps. And yes, you are correct. It is equitable title. Equitable title. Now, for bonus points, when do you get equitable title? It is the right, excuse me, the right answer, but when do we see cases where somebody gets equitable title? I'm thinking of some space, some especially there's one in particular. There's one in particular that's a unilateral contract. Hey, it's okay, Nino. You're here. Being late. There is still time. We just started. And I was just asking, when do we see equitable title? Mm, So, Elena, you said, and let me erase this, you get equitable title. I would say maybe before closing. Once you sign that purchase contract, you would get equitable title. You would get equitable title if you have a purchase money mortgage. Well, actually, I take that back. I would say it wouldn't be a purchase money mortgage, which would be seller financing. It would be a installment land contract. Wrong word. Installment land contract. And you'd have it when you have a deed of trust. So all three of those are times when you'd have it, right? You would have this equitable right to claim title later. Before closing, you signed a purchase contract, so you have the right to get that title at closing. In an installment land contract, remember that's like you're putting something on payaway. A payaway, layaway, where you're going to make payments, make payments, make payments. And then when you finish paying off the whole thing, that is when they will give you title. And then the deed of trust, otherwise known as a trust deed. We know that if you're in a title theory state, you get title from the seller, but then you give title to the uh, trustee. So there you go. Hopefully that helps, but let me know if you have any questions. And good job, Elena. You got that right. And Nino, you are on the same page too. All right, let's try number 30. The final act of transferring title from seller to buyer is known as what? What is this known as? That final act of transferring title from seller to buyer is known as. Well, it wouldn't be. Okay, you know what? You're not wrong. You said delivery and acceptance. You said a delivery and acceptance. You are correct. That is the final step. I mean, you have to have it delivered and it needs to be accepted. But I think what they're thinking about is closing. My guess is that this is going with closing. Why? Because while you're under contract, you do have equitable title, but the house is not yours. The property is not yours until closing. And I don't care if you're a lien theory state or a title theory state, there's going to be a final title check and then a title search, and then they'll transfer title. They'll record that deed. Does that make sense? And Nino, you are correct. Letting the other party know of delivery and acceptance, well, um, I think what you're thinking of would be in contracts, Nino. That's more delivery. The notification of acceptance is how you get under contract with contracts. So for a deed to be valid, you need it to be delivered and accepted. For a contract to be under contract, when we specifically talk about real estate contracts, there is acceptance and then notification of that acceptance. So that's how we do that. All right, and I've got Stacy joining me live. So hopefully she will be able to get in the room. You all are always welcome to join me live if you like. Well, you can do it. All right, let's do number 31. I'm hoping that we get 31. The legal document that conveys real property is what? The legal document, Elena's got it. She's got the deed. She's got it. It is a deed. A deed is the legal document that conveys real property. All right. And then what about number 32? Go ahead and put your answers in for 32. So I won't say who's right or wrong until I get a couple of answers. And Stacy, you're here with me in the Zoom room. You can unmute yourself if you like or put stuff in the chat, your choice. But go ahead. What is the deed that provides the most protection to the buyer? And can somebody tell me why? Whatever that answer is, why is that the answer? So, Elena, you said general warranty deed. Nino, you said fee simple deed. And Nino said, nope, she changed your mind. General warranty. You're right there. So that's gonna be a general warranty. Oh, wait, I'm putting it in the wrong spot. Boom, 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 boom. This is gonna be the general warranty. Now, Stacy, I don't think I've had you in the Zoom before. I let people come in and out. It's always going to be Fridays and Wednesdays. If you're live in my Zoom room, you can ask me questions. For the people that are watching via YouTube, there's a little bit of a delay, but that's okay. We just make it work. Please feel free to ask questions, whether you want to. If you come on camera, everybody will see you, but you can unmute or you can put it in the chat. So there you go. So I said, why is this the right answer? Well, we know the general warranty deed, it covers the life of the deed. It covers the life of the deed, right? So even in the past, that is different than, and I would say versus the special warranty deed. Because we know special warranty deed says, look, I'm only saying that I didn't mess it up. So if I give a property to Cam, which, hello, Cam, welcome. And congratulations on passing your class exam. Yay!
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I'm so like, I'm out of this world. Thank you so much for all your help. Seriously.
Of course, you're
You're
going to
amazing.
pass. You're going to pass your state exam as well. Y'all, Cam is one of my students. She was in my full class. So I'm just so proud of her for passing her class exam. Yay. Love
Thank you,
it.
thank you, thank you.
Yay. All right. So back to what I was saying. The general warranty deed says, look, if I give a general warranty deed to Cam, I'm saying, look, Cam, it doesn't matter who messed it up. I'm going to make this better for you. I'm going to fix this. However, if it's a special warranty deed, if I give it to Cam, what I'm saying is, look, I know I didn't mess it up. Now, if somebody else messed it up, that's a you issue. I'm only going to cover if somebody says I messed it up. That is the difference between our special warranty and our general warranty. There you go. Oh, and Cam, email me because I've got something to tell you. So, Cam, email me after class or during this so that I can tell you what you need to know.
Okay, excellent. I will.
Perfect. All right, number 33. A deed with no warranties or guarantees is a what deed? A deed with no warranty or guarantees. And I'm going to turn off my video because I keep going in and out there. There we go. A deed with no warranties or guarantees.
Quick claim.
Quit claim. You and Elena got it at the same time. It is a quit claim deed. And then I see ChatGPT is up to her old problems. A blank deed is used to release a party's interest without warranties. Guys, this would also be a quit claim deed. Both of them are saying, hey, the answer is quit claim deed. It's just talking or coming at it at a different way, right? So we know both are quit claim deeds. Cool. Number 35. A blank title search reveals the history of ownership and encumbrances. Take out search. A title, and let's take this out and say a blank of title. A blank of title reveals the history and of ownership and encumbrances. Abstract, that's right. Abstract of title. The abstract is going to have everything. What do we call it when it's just the just the who it is, like just the pieces. It was this person gave it to this person, and this person gave it to that person. What do we call that? What's the summary of all the owners? Anybody know? That's going to be a chain of title. So remember, a chain of title, I think of like chain links in a, oh, there you go, Amani. Hey, Amani, chain of title. Yep, Carl, you're right. I think of the chain like links in a chain when it's chain of title. And then the abstract of title is it's everything that happened. There was a lien and that lien got cleared off and this and that and that. Okay. A number 37. A blank agent represents the client in a wide range of matters, like property management. When you're a property manager, you are what?
The special agent?
No, it's not special agent because remember, wait, Elena, you said you think blank is wrong, right? Right. The abstract is a summary. Yeah. It's not perfect. So sorry, I heard you, Cam. I'm going to go backwards. And I think when you say summary, a lot of times we'll go with abstract, like the abstract is a summary, but you can also say that the chain of title is a summary of just the owners. It doesn't do. The abstract has encumbrances, and the chain is just going to be the owners. So that one's I wanted to make sure I got it, right? And Nino, you are correct. Special, you said, is one particular job. So in a special agency, that is, hey, I'm going to help you sell your house. I'm going to help you buy a house. And I can't make any kind of decisions on my own. But when you're a property manager, you have the ability to make some decisions in one area of somebody's life. And that's going to be, and you all had it right online, it is a general agent.
Okay.
So just remember, a general agent is going to be this property manager. If you're talking about sales, you're a special agent. And it's a universal agent if you're somebody like a power of attorney, right? In fact, 38 tells us a special agent. A special agent. That's used for specific transactions. Just, you can help me buy. All right, 39. Dual agency must be what by both parties? Dual agency must be what? It does have to be more than one. You are correct, Elena. It does have to be more than one party, but I don't think that's what they're looking for. In order for it to be legal for you to practice dual agency, what do you have to have? And Cam, I heard you start to say something. What did you say?
And it has to be in writing, agreed and in writing.
Yes, it needs to be agreed to. Agreed to by both parties, and usually it's going to have to be in writing. You know, where we are, Cam, in North Carolina, there are some chances where you can have oral dual agency, but eventually it's going to be put into writing. It needs to be agreed to. It needs to be disclosed. I would take either of those. I don't know of a single state where it is legal to practice undisclosed dual agency. They need to agree to it, and they need to know about it. All right, number 40. A broker working with a buyer but not representing them is functioning as a what? Ooh, and there could be two different answers here. Or kind of, yeah. A broker working with a buyer but not representing them is functioning as a what? Anybody know? Now, this is a type of, I want to call it agency, but it's not. It's a type of representation or lack thereof that is valid in some states, but not in the other. So what they're looking for is Transactional broker. So in some states, a transactional broker is basically saying, I'm not representing the buyer, nor am I representing the seller. Remember, in dual agency, the reason why the agents can't really give any assistance or skill is because if you are practicing dual agency correctly, you owe loads to the buyer and you owe loads to the seller. But in states where you have transactional brokerage, what you have is the ability to say, I'm just bringing the buyer and the seller to the table. I don't owe either of you loyalty. All I owe is basically disclosure of material facts and helping y'all try to get this closed. I don't owe you the skills of negotiating things. You don't do any of those things. Now, Cam or anybody else in North Carolina, you could have said seller subagent. You could say a broker working with a buyer but not representing them. This would be a seller subagent, but that's a North Carolina thing, maybe some other states, but very good transactional broker. Interesting. In Florida, you're considered a transactional broker from the get-go before establishing a relationship. Yes, Carl, I know that to be true. And I gotta say, of all the states, I love the way Florida does agency. I think you all have the best. I just like it. I like how Florida does agency. All right, number 41. A blank listing allows the seller to list with multiple brokers, but pay only one who procures the buyer.
Exclusive or open?
No. Well, why is it not exclusive here? Allows the seller to list with multiple brokers.
That's the open then, right?
Then it is an open. There you go. Open. Good job, Elena. Open. Good job, Carl. It is open. So it's kind of like being a for sale by owner, except you're signing contracts with different companies that say, look, your company, each of you has a different company or is a different broker. You can market my property. You can have open houses on my property, and you can do all this work. But I am only going to pay the broker who finds the buyer. That is an open listing. Okay. A blank listing pays the broker only if they bring the buyer and close the sale. I think open would work here. Sometimes ChatGPT is not great. An open listing only pays the broker only if they bring the buyer and closes the sale. I think that's the same thing. All right. Yeah. All right. 43. The most common type of listing agreement is the blank right to sell. This, Cam, oh, there you go, Carl. He already beat you to it, Cam. It is the exclusive.
Exclusive.
The exclusive right to sell. We like it. And number 44, a listing agreement is a type of what contract? Do not say listing. Nobody here is going to say listing for 44. A listing agreement is not a type of listing contract. I mean, it is.
Service.
But we are not going there. What'd you say, Cam?
Service.
A personal.
Right? Service.
Right. Yeah. Personal service contract. There we go. Personal service contract. It is a personal service contract. You know, guys, it is an employment contract. I'll take that too. It is an employment contract. It's an employment contract. This is why, as a seller or a buyer, if you were the agent, you can't force agency on me. I don't care what kind of agency agreement I sign. If I say, hey, you're going to list my house until next May, well, okay, we have a contract. But if I decide I don't want you involved, then you can't hold me to that. Do you have some legal ramifications there? Yes, you might be able to, you might be able to sue me if I'm the seller, but you can't force yourself to be my agent. I can end the agency. There just may be consequences. It's kind of like, everybody talks about the First Amendment, the right to say what you want, but there doesn't mean there won't be consequences. There could be consequences. And Elena, I love it. You said a listing agreement is also a bilateral contract. Yes, both parties are making promises. All right. Number 45. Commingling occurs when a broker mixes client funds with blank funds.
Firm funds, company funds.
You know what? I'll take company funds. And there's one more thing that it can also not mix with. Company funds or personal. There you go, Carl. Carl's got it. Personal. So think of it this way. Let's say I'm the broker. Let's say I'm the broker. I can't have my personal monies, like any part of that I'm paying myself. No. And I can't have the operating funds of my company in the account either. That trust account has to just be funds that belong to somebody else. All right. That is it. So related to that is we have 46. The illegal act of using client funds for personal use is called There is a word for that. When I go in and I take the trust monies and I go spend them, maybe I go buy.
Usury?
No, usury is a good word. It's a good word, but that's not what it is. Usury is that limit. It's the government says, hey, there's only so much interest you can charge. Usury is a great word, not there. And Elena and Carl got it. It is conversion. That's a V. Conversion. Nice, Amani, you got it too. I like it. I mean, I'm looking at number 47 and going, really? I mean, I do believe that ChatGPT thinks you all are idiots. A trust account holds funds in trust for a client. But we know we could also call this an escrow account. Yeah, I 47. Bless ChatGPT's heart. They were like, oh, you must be stupid. That's okay. 48. Blank is when an agent causes a third party to believe they represent a client without a formal agreement. Blank is when an agent causes a third party to believe they represent a client without a formal agreement. Anybody? And I want to roll back while you all are thinking about that. 47, I saw you say earnest money, Elena. And I just want to say this is a type of trust funds. Earnest monies are a type of trust funds. Carl said 48. I have no idea. Amani's got it. Nice, Amani. That is implied agency. Implied agency. I don't think universal agent would be what we're looking for there, Elena. And ratification, well, okay, you said a universal agent by ratification. Guys, remember ratification is when that client comes later to confirm. So we might have created agency through implication. But then if we want to make it official, the client comes through and they ratify it. Hey, Trix, nice to see you. So ratification is related to that. And you can talk about ratifying all sorts of things. But if we're talking about agency, it's like we've created agency, but now let's get it all express and make it real. That's ratification of that agency. All right, number 49. It's okay, Elena. You don't have to apologize. All the words, just you saying ratification. Earlier, Cam said usury. That's a good way to just remember. Just there's so much vocab words. So many vocab words, guys. You see, sometimes I'm like, it's that word. It's in the back of my head. I think I know it. Like, it's hard to pull these words out of your head sometimes. Really. Okay.
49, it's reasonable skill and care.
Yeah, a broker owes clients obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, and reasonable skill and care. Sometimes we'll say
And
diligence,
diligence, right? Okay.
right? And somebody, Nino, you said fiduciary. Also, another good word. And all of these things are the fiduciary, like you owe them your fiduciary responsibilities of obedience, of loyalty, of disclosure. Those things make up your fiduciary duties. That's the word I was thinking about. Your fiduciary duties. So still related, but this is where the devil is in the details. Your fiduciary duties are obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, and reasonable skill and care, and possibly diligence. Number 50, material facts must be what to all parties. Now it's okay, got you, Nino. I was like, are you saying the answer is understood? But no, you're saying you understand. Material facts must be blank to all parties. I know y'all know this one.
Disclosed.
Disclosed. Preferably in writing. In some states, well, let me say this. There's a difference about material facts and how they're treated by agents and how they're treated by the seller. Right. I just want everybody to look at your state, look at your materials and say, hey, in my state, does a seller have to disclose all material facts or just some of the material facts? As an agent, usually you'll have to disclose all material facts, but that's different. Your responsibility to disclose is different than the seller's responsibility to disclose. You both might have to disclose things, but it's different. It's different, right? Sorry, just grabbing some water. 51. A stigmatized property is one that may be viewed as undesirable due to what type of events? A stigmatized property is one that may be viewed as undesirable due to blank events. Let's get in the head of ChatGPT here. I don't know. What do we
I
think?
mean, I know what the stigmatized property is, but I'm not sure what the word that they want in front of events.
Me either. I'm stuck.
Because that's like the haunted house or this,
Yeah. Okay, so
or if someone passes, if someone dies or commits
yeah,
suicide or something like
I'm
that.
with you on that one. So you said Amani said economic obsolescence. So economic obsolescence is when something outside of the home is affecting the value. So Amani, good guess, but it's something about the property. When there's a stigma about the property, it is about the property itself. So it wouldn't be economic obsolescence. Carl, you said deterioration. So maybe you're talking about physical deterioration, but that would be about the property. But that's not an event. An unforeseen event. Yeah, crimes, it's something that was not the good that happened. I think you're all right. Like, let's all list. So we got things that can, depending on the state, you got hauntings, sometimes suicide or deaths, or, just
Ex-offender,
crime, depending on where you are. What did you say, Cam?
sex offenders, right?
Most states you aren't going to do sex offenders nearby. I mean, I don't. Let me see what they said. I just looked at what ChatGPT said, and it said non-physical events. I don't like that.
Yeah, that is, I don't know.
ChatGPT. That was stupid. Cross that one out. Right. You said you wanted to say those words, but you were thinking it is wrong. Well, murder, that's a good one. I mean, not that murder's good, but murder. All of these things would make this property a stigmatized property. And each and every one of you needs to know what your laws say about, do I have to? Do I have to disclose any of these things or not? All right, ChatGPT gets it wrong, but that's okay. A blank contract requires performance by both parties.
A valid.
Not wrong, not what they're looking at. Think of this word, both parties. When a contract requires performance by both parties, that would be what? Ah, Nino's got it. It would be bilateral. A bilateral contract. Both parties have to do something. I'm going to promise to do something. You're going to promise to do something. Once we get under contract, we've both got promises we need to keep. A unilateral contract is one party makes a promise, but the other party doesn't. And I think if any of you all have been in a review class with me, you watched that video with the little cartoon people, and they talk about like a reward. So if I lost my dog and I said, hey, I'm willing to pay a reward, if I did a contract for that, I'm promising to pay a reward, but you aren't promising to find my dog. I'm the only one that's made a promise. And if you find my dog, if and then I have to pay you the reward. That would be unilateral, right? But bilateral means both parties have made promises and need to do something. So our purchase contracts are bilateral. All right, 53. A blank contract is formed when promises are made but not yet performed. What do you call it? You're still kind of under contract. What's the word we're looking for there? You said like the
Executory?
Annabelle haunted house in Connecticut. There
Is
is
it
no money in
executory?
the world that would make me go into the Annabelle haunted house. Or all y'all people that go into this thing where you can go see Annabelle, keep playing games. The next thing you know, clowns are going to be outside your windows with red balloons calling up Pennywise. Y'all keep playing games. What'd you say, Cam?
An executory contract?
Executory. Yes,
Okay,
executory.
good.
And Amani and Carl got that too. So I can spell it Executory. Executory contract. Remember, executed means it's fully performed for this exam, and executory means I'm under contract. I'm waiting for it to happen. Great. 54. When a contract is legally binding and enforceable, it is considered what? When a contract is legally binding and enforceable, it is considered what?
Valid.
Valid. So then how would you, Cam or Stacy, because by the time I get to this, the delay, can either of you define what is difference between a valid contract and a voidable contract?
Voidable means that one of the essential elements is missing, or at least one is missing.
Yes. Well, void would be if,
It's not enforceable.
void is if it's missing an element.
Oh,
And then
okay.
it had no bearing whatsoever. Voidable means it looks valid, but when you look deeper, you actually are missing one of those things, and thus one of the parties could get out of it. Right?
Right. One of the parties can get
There
out of
you
it.
go. One of the parties can get out of it. And so, Nino, you said avoidable is by the party. Oh, there's just a space. Missing a space. I was like, avoidable. I haven't heard that as a description. A voidable contract is by the party who receives the damage that can void it. Yes. And void, it was never binding in the first place. Got it. You got it, Nino, and good job, Tricks. You got this. Y'all are geniuses. I think y'all are ready for the test. Okay, 55. A blank breach is when one party fails to perform significantly under a contract. And Amani, you said if I have time for a math problem, can it be a cap rate finding the price? Yeah, we can do that. A blank breach is when one party fails to perform significantly under a contract. Anybody? A blank breach. Now, you all have heard me say, when it comes to what terminates a contract, I like to use the acronym FABIO: full performance, agreement of the parties, breach, impossibility of performance, and operation of law. But I always say, not all breaches terminate all contracts. So, Elena, you said sue for specific performance or liquidated damages. Well, those are things, that's one of the remedies if somebody breaches. But what type of breach is the type of breach that will actually terminate a contract? And that would be material. A material breach. One party fails to perform significantly. So if I say, this is why we have that term, time being of the essence. I know you all have heard time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. That means if I say by 5 p.m., time is of the essence, I got till 5 p.m. And if I miss that, I'm done. Time is of the essence makes that 5 p.m., that last click, 4 minutes, 4 o'clock, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. I'm still good, but whoop, at 5 o'clock, I'm done. That's a material breach. But if I have a date and a time and a contract and we don't say time being of the essence, if I come to you at 5:05, yeah, I missed a deadline, but it's not a material deadline. Material means it's so important that the judge is like, no, you missed a huge date. So, hey, Stefan, I'll be on for a little while later. So I see you, Amani. You said, okay, you might have to go over different breaches. Well, let me say this. Let me switch here. Oh, that's new. Boot. So you can have a contract. And there's things that terminate a contract. Beep. And that's Fabio. Full performance. Agreement of the parties. I mean, this is just terrible writing on my part. I mean, oh, thanks, Stefan. All right, I'm gonna clear this. Let's try this again with some better handwriting. That was god awful, y'all. Ooh, I know. Let's do better handwriting in here. This will be better. All right, so we got a contract. And once you have a contract, oh, so much better. It actually looks like I took handwriting classes at some point. So what terminates a contract? Could be full performance, agreement of the parties, breach, impossibility of performance, And what am I missing? Operation of law. Right? So you've got all of those. You missed the singing. Sorry, guys. So these are all things that will terminate a contract. Now, when somebody breaches, and it's not all breaches, but some breaches are when somebody has done, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. This is when you sue because suing is tattling. Suing somebody in court is the same as tattling. Tattling, is that how you spell tattling? I don't know. To a judge. You're saying, hey, they made a promise to do X, Y, and Z, and they didn't do it. They made a promise to do X, Y, Z, and they didn't do it. Judge, make that better. Make it better. And then, well, what do? This is called a remedy. Making it better because somebody messed up, somebody breached, somebody messed up. These are called remedies. And when the judge says, okay, let's make it better, there could be money damages. It could be rescission. Alexa, how do you spell rescission?
Recession is spelled R-E-C-E-S-S-I-O-N.
I said rescission. Alexa, how do you spell rescission, as in rescission of a contract?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
And that's why I asked ChatGPT. That is why I like ChatGPT, Alexa. Sorry, guys, having a fight with Alexa. Alexa, cancel. Rescission. Well, if y'all are watching, you can find out. Alexa, stop. I really hate. I cannot. Rescission. Somebody look up rescission. I don't know how to spell it.
R-E-C-I-S-S-I-O-N.
Oh, I got it right the last time. Yay. Guys, I mean, she was just not working with me there. Thank you, Miss Cam. So what makes it better? You got money damages, you got rescission, you've got specific performance. Am I missing anything? I feel like I am. What am I missing? Money damages, rescission, specific performance, and what am I missing? I'm missing something. Ooh. Y'all, we can do this. I'm missing something. What am I missing? Who's got me? Who's got my back? Who's got my back? Rescission, operation of law, money damages. There's something missing there. Rescission, money damages. Oh, see, I don't want you all to think that any of your teachers are perfect. We struggle too. What do we do? What do we do? I'm looking it up, guys. I know I'm missing something. Injunction. That's what it is. Injunction. She said jail. Well, if you don't follow what they say, then yes, you could go to jail. So you've got money damages. So our money damages could be oh, you know what? Why am I doing all this? Let's try this. Okay, guys, you ready for a screen? I'm trying to write all this out, and I could have just done this. Boom. Boom. Boom, shakalaka-laka. There we go. There's this screen. So what happens is when somebody breaches, these are things that you can ask for. You can ask for rescission. That's asking the judge, look, let's pretend like this contract never happened. Let's make sure that we all go back to our original corners, how we started. You've got damages, which are money damages, like compensatory damages, consequential damages, liquidated damages, which is what our earnest monies are, punitive damages, and nominal. You've got specific performance, which is going to be the courts are forcing you to do whatever you specifically said you were going to do. And then an injunction and waiver, that's a little bit above. Injunction is when the courts basically stop whatever you're not supposed to be doing. And then don't even worry about waiver. That is a legal term. So when it all comes together, boop, doop, 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 doop. I'm looking for something. These are things that will terminate a contract. Operation of law, agreement of the parties. There's all these things here. You all can pause this video later and watch all of this, right? But Fabio terminates a contract. Full performance, agreement of the parties, breach, impossibility of performance, and then operation of law. If somebody breaches, then scroll, you can ask the judge to make it better by either asking for them to, for rescission or to give money damages or for specific performance or an injunction or a waiver. And then you've got different types of, these are the contract remedies. You got different types of money damages. So I'm showing you all my slides so that at some point, if you need help with this, you can always go back to this and we will, you have an answer. But the one you really needed to know was liquidated damages. That is when in a contract they say, hey, if I breach, this is the type of monies, this is the amount of monies that you'll get. And that's what earnest money deposits are. Hey, seller, if I just up and decide not to buy the house, then here's the amount of money that we're putting into a trust account that you get to keep because I breached. Whew. Look at me trying to write out stuff when I already have it in slide form. I should probably not try to draw or write things because my handwriting is awful, along with my spelling. But that's not my fault because technology makes it really easy. All right, so there you go. All right, I hope that helped. I know it took me a second to get there, but that is when we learn stuff, right? We're going to finish the ones on this page. Let me share my screen, and then we will call it a day until later. So here you go. Now, in case some of you are watching what I was going to tell Cam later, and it's not too late because, it's going to be in like a couple hours. But at 6 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be doing a recording, and it's going to be something similar. So if you're interested in that, email me. 56, 6 o'clock Eastern, by the way. So that's going to be before like in 2 hours. A buyer's earnest money deposit is a form of, I just answered this, liquidated damages. That is your earnest money deposit. It's you've decided in the contract how much the other person would get if there is a breach. And if a buyer backs out with no legal excuse, the seller may keep the earnest money deposit as damages. And then number 58, a buyer's loan being denied would generally activate a loan contingency. A loan contingency or a financing contingency. Boom. All right, guys. All right. Oh, Nino, can I tell you my email? Sure. It is Candace at Ellis, I know my last name, at gmail.com. Candace Ellis at gmail.com. So guys, I'm going to grab some early dinner. And then for those of you all joining me in a little bit, I'll see you. We'll do a recording. Otherwise, I'll see everybody else on Wednesday. I do these open office hours. You're welcome to invite anybody. Stefan, if you want to invite whoever you want, this is free. It doesn't matter what company, what school, they're welcome to come, but it's always Wednesdays. I'm working on changing the banner so y'all can see it. And that's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then it's always Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. Yay. I'm excited for tonight too. Amani, you said after you pass the exam, how long does it take you to get your license after you pay? It depends on the state. I've heard of people it taking weeks. In some states, you get it like in a couple of days. It just depends on your state. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I will see everybody a little bit later. Stacy and Cam, if you all want to stay, I'll give you the information about what I was talking about when, tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tonight at
Okay,
6
I'll see.
p.m. Eastern. But I'm also doing it Sunday. And so that would be 3 o'clock Central. I'm going to be doing a live recording. So won't be live on YouTube. I'll be recording your voices and we'll be doing stuff like this. So it'll be free for you all. I'll see y'all soon. I'm going to end the live. Bye, everybody on YouTube.